Stewart. Welcome to my podcast, Trade Secrets. Today I have a new friend, but it's already feeling like an old friend. Which, by the way, I'm going to tell you, I think we probably met back in like 75 or 76, but that's another story.
We did.
Gordon Bahary, known for many things, a pioneer in synthesizer, emulation, sound, everything. This guy left high school to go work with Stevie Wonder and ended up being still his like synth programmer, creator of sounds, banking of sound banks. I mean, all the things, right? All things synth from an early age. And it's interesting, and I think I mentioned this to you, Gordon, that my brothers worked at the record plant. They both worked on Songs in the Key of Life. Their pictures are on the back of the LP. I used to walk around in ninth grade holding up the album going, that's my brother. So you're on there. I know we would have met if you ever went to the record plant in L.A.
Oh, yeah.
But interesting Stevie Wonder, real quick story, is that many years later, I was at a Tech Awards, a post-Tech Awards, like little hang after the Tech Awards. And I was sitting on the ground and Stevie was sitting on a couch. And I was literally sitting like by his knee. And he was like petting my head. And I said, hey, you know my brother? He said, Candace, I know who you are. He said, you're Rick Smith's little sister. I said, how do you know that? He goes, someone told me. He leaned over and said, someone told him.
Because someone told me.
So Gordon's bio will be on the podcast when the podcast airs. But it's such an extensive history and sort of pioneering with synthesizers. He was an artist in his own right under Twilight 22, a song called Electric Kingdom, probably one of the early hip hop, like a song that became sort of what hip hop would be, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. But so we're going to talk about all the things I like to talk about because it's really all about me. But anyway.
Wait a second.
I'm totally kidding. Gordon, I think I told you that I started doing this because, I'm going to retire soon. And I wanted to have sort of a scrapbook of all the people that I love, all the creators that I've had the good fortune of knowing. And you're no exception, even though I met you recently. Feels like an old friend.
It does.
I really just asked one question, and I kind of, will lead you back in. It's really for people, especially if a young person was to watch this, for them to be like, say they're out in the middle of nowhere somewhere, and they're like, man, how do I do this? Well, there's no one way to get your perfect job. All you have to do is just keep trying, in my opinion. The universe, if you're good, hopefully the universe provides luck, timing, etc. But I asked one main question, and that's, where were you born?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I'm honored to be here.
Oh.
It's great to meet you. What a memory you have. You have no cheat sheets.
Oh,
You're scary.
It's in the head. Yeah, the hard drive is full, though. I think that's how you get dementia.
Well, thank you for the very, very kind intro. I was born in Huntington, Long Island.
Oh, all right.
Well, actually, Queens, Long Island, sorry. And then from an early age, lived in Huntington.
So there's a Queens, Long Island, and a Queens near Brooklyn?
No, it's
There's two Queens?
It's the same Queens. Queens, New York.
Queens, New York. All right.
And Forest Hills, Queens, to be exact.
Oh, nice.
And then shortly thereafter, though, for the rest of my childhood, Huntington.
One of the things that I ask people is, I ask everybody this, says, what did your mom and your dad do?
Interesting. My dad was a real estate broker, and he came here with nothing.
That's, by the way, what we all should be doing and not what we are doing. But go ahead.
He would tell you that if he was here. But he was hustling, self-made, came here with nothing, immigrant, and in the 40s.
Is Bahary Italian?
Bahary is Persian, Jewish, Iranian name.
All right.
And he came here because he had to, because the Nazis were on the border of Iraq and Iran.
Yeah,
so he didn't have a choice. He took off. Took 17
We still
planes.
see troubles in this part of the world.
Yes,
and
we
it's,
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad didn't get it right. We have to send him back. But he came here and met my mother in the 50s. She did the same thing.
Oh.
She fled in 44.
Oh, wow.
And then they met here in the 50s. And, he didn't do so well in the beginning and had a rough time.
It's a struggle, yeah.
And like Godfather 2, he put an apple or a pear on top of the table and said, this is what we're having for dinner.
Yeah,
She said, I don't care. I love you. She
tough time. So we love her.
So she was behind him 1,000%.
Oh, we love her. What was your dad's name?
Norman.
And what was your mama's name?
Homa.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it means bird, I think.
Oh, it's a beautiful name.
Yeah. Well, I think it means XLR. No,
Wait a minute. I think it means EQ. Yeah.
No,
Anyway, but that's a beautiful name.
Thank
So
you.
you're growing up in Long Island's Queen, and I asked people this as well. Was there a music program in your elementary school?
I think so, and I was too shy.
Oh,
And
surprising, by the way, ladies.
Yeah,
He's a charmer.
Hey.
Hey.
And my fourth grade teacher said, "Listen, I'd like you to run the Wallensack tape machine.
Oh, good God.
For the Halloween performance."
Was this
And
like an upright reel-to-reel?
Yeah, it was a reel-to-reel,
Oh,
like,
flat,
not
okay.
upright, but like this, and it was really well-built thing, the Wallensack, mono,
Cool.
quarter-inch, and I ran it, and the capstan went off, and in the middle of the
tape
performance,
flew
the tape
off?
went, he
Oh,
said,
no.
"You don't do anything right. I'm never letting you handle audio again." As you
Oh,
can see, I
dude.
never got involved in
By the way,
audio.
that teacher has now read about your prowess and your success and is thinking I should have been a little bit nicer to little Gordon.
But I never got to tell him it wasn't me. It was the capstan.
Yeah, it's
roll.
not my fault, bro. It's a tape machine.
But he picked me, and then one day I said, "Screw this," and I went up to the piano, and even though I didn't have piano lessons, and I played "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" by heart, first time, perfectly, and everyone started gathering, and the teacher ran down the hall. I thought he was going to call the principal because I was disrupting. He called the other teachers to watch.
Aw,
and I
that's
said, "This is
cool.
my moment, fourth grade, So that was a nice little thing.
Oh, I come from a family of creators. I'm not a musician myself, but I have 3 older brothers. They're all musicians. They became great engineers. My mom was a painter. My dad, like your dad, but a little bit older, my dad survived. He served at Normandy. My dad was in the Army. Yeah, and survived, obviously, because I'm here. But he met my mom in Pasadena in 1948. So she's
the
from North
same
Carolina.
time.
He was from Ohio. And they get married. They met February 2nd, and they got married March 4th, 1948.
So both post-war love
Yeah,
stories.
yeah. She was 10 years younger. But a smart guy, my dad. He did he had many jobs, but he was an electrical engineer, and he built the safety systems for nuclear missiles on nuclear submarines. And I'd be like, "Dad, what are you doing?" He'd be like, "I'm trying to keep the Navy from blowing us up."
That's a heavy job. That's a lot of
Dad.
responsibility.
Yeah, he was the sweetest guy, but he passed kind of early. But speaking, the reason I bring it up is in your family, my family, much support for the arts. I mean,
Yes.
I'm getting from your mom and dad, probably in spite of their frightening exodus to come to the U.S., I'm sure that they had a great love for art and a great love for music.
They did.
And when you did that in the 4th grade, I'm sure they got wind of it. And did they give little Gordon piano lessons?
I never told them. I was quiet. I never told them what I did. They did do 2 piano lessons, which I absolutely hated because I was already hearing songs, and he wanted me to play "Born Free" and
Oh my
"Up,
God, I
Up
love
and
that song.
Away in My Beautiful
I love Born
Balloon."
Free.
I couldn't do it. I wanted to do my thing.
Da, 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 da.
Exactly.
Da, 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 da. I love that. I love
It's a
that
great song.
Yeah, I can't sing or play. We had a piano in my house growing up, though, and my brother had like violin lessons and guitar lessons, and they said, "Hey, do you want piano lessons?" I'm like, "No, I played soccer. I was a little jock
Oh,
before I
really?
was a stoner." Yeah, we all became stoners. Maybe not Gordon, but
No,
yeah,
I didn't.
No, really.
Nah, actually not. No, but
You're dedicated to music.
I was really dedicated to music. Didn't do much in sports. Was hiding in the basement, building synthesizers, like 12, 13 years old.
So how did I mean, obviously we know you understand engineering and have a studio of your own and grasp all the technical things. How did you get into building the guts of synthesizer? I mean, because you guys have to remember, those of you who are watching this, since we're analog then, and not digital processors. So you would have had to have utilized your knowledge of piano and piano keyboards and things like that. I mean, Moog was out already.
Right, and I was dealing with the guys at ARP.
Oh, dude.
David Friend was
Dude,
amazing.
I work with Edgar Winter and
my
of
gosh,
course the
really?
ARP. Yeah, but anyway, go ahead.
Well, David Friend was fantastic, and I said, "David, is there a way that I could press the key harder and have some expression?" And then he said, "Well, let's work on this together." And
Like action on a piano.
yeah, and so we put together what I believe was the first one, where he built this resistor that was a pad. And then he said, now where do you want to run it? So I patched it into the volume, the filter, the now sound of the filter, and pitch, and started doing that. So that
How
was
old were you when you
I
did
was
this?
14.
Wow.
And the reason why I got into music seriously is because I had an illegal radio station at 12 that was reaching to Connecticut and all over, and all the parents.
Is this like pirate radio?
It was pirate radio on FM 108 FM, and all the parents were complaining to my parents.
How did I miss that we weren't supposed to listen to shit? Maybe I was just breaking the law.
Exactly. Well, I was breaking the law. Back then in the 70s, people were more conservative. So
Agreed.
I was like Howard Stern cursing, doing imitations of Richard Nixon with his wife in bed.
So you had your own show?
I had my own show, my own voices, and the parents were complaining to my parents saying, your son can't do this. My kids are listening. So I didn't have any music but the Beatles. So my sister said, here's a guy named Stevie Wonder. I was mesmerized, played along with it. Then I bought the synthesizer after I mowed so many lawns, and I started imitating the sounds of Stevie and getting even more sounds with my modifications. But I didn't have any electronic background. I blew up quite a bit of stuff.
How did Stevie find out about you?
Well, that's a long story, and to make it fun and short, let me see. I called Sam. I saw him on Sesame Street playing Superstition, and I called Sam Goody, the record store in Huntington, and I said, I'd like to reach Stevie Wonder. And he said, yeah, kid, and I'd like to reach Frank Sinatra. What can I help you with? I said, no, I really do. He said, kid, I got a line of people here. I kept calling. He kept hanging up on me, and finally they said, I don't know, call Motown. Harassed Motown for 3 months. They knew it was me every day. They said, please stop calling. One guy cursed me and threatened me. Don't call, no damn more. I still called, and then a very innocent intern who had just started there accidentally told me where he was, because I said, hotel, she went, yeah, Hotel Pontchartrain. I said, right. So I called there.
By the way, that's a famous hotel in New Orleans as well.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
So then I called there, and the operator was very defensive, so I knew he was there. So I called back and asked for Stevelyn Morris, his real name. She said, who's calling? And I'll never forget, the collar on my shirt was flapping with my pulse. That's how nervous I was. And the bodyguard said, hello. And I said, this is Gordon Bahary. I'm calling. He says, oh, my God, the telephone terrorist.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't even know what a terrorist was.
Yeah.
He said, my brother, what's wrong? What's going on? I said, well, I'm sorry to bother you. He goes, here he is.
Wow.
So Stevie said, look, I don't know you, but what's going on? They're all telling me. And I said, I want you to hear this. And I started playing my ARP into the phone. He goes, you did that? I said, yeah. He says, well, play me a song. And I played him a song. And he says to me, not to brag, you're the Burt Bacharach of the 80s. I want you to fly out.
Dude, do we love Stevie for his open-mindedness and
his
kindness.
Generosity and kindness. And
He's an angel.
And he was busy, too, and he did this. So I go to my mother. 10th grade's about to start.
Hey, Stevie Wonder's going to fly me out.
Yeah, I said, Mom, I got to talk to you. And I was mesmerized and motivated.
Yep.
She said,
Fearless.
She said, Dad'll kill you. You have to go to school. And Stevie said to me, don't you have to go to school? I said, you didn't.
Good answer.
He says, what do you want to do for me? And I looked at his album, and the biggest font was produced by. I said, be a producer.
Oh, nice.
And he got a little offended and said, I'm okay in that department. He just won the Grammy for producer. He goes, but there are other things like the synthesizer. Call me at the Regency apartment.
This is when hubris is actually okay. When you're fearless and young.
It's very embarrassing. I'm embarrassed.
No, you shouldn't be,
I wasn't
man.
Back then, though. You don't have any shame when
You're young, man. You don't care.
So he liked that. And
it's the greatest story.
And he gave me his home number. He was staying at the Regency apartment hotels. And I called there. I'll never forget it, room 209. Every day I flew out, and my mother said, Dad's going to kill you. You're not going to have any teeth left when you're done telling him. So she said, I'm going to have to figure out something with the school. And she finagled it for a few weeks.
Nice.
And she said a very funny thing. She said, boy, am I going to have to wear something sexy tonight.
Very nice. Good, Mom. Yeah, we love that.
So anyway.
My parents were like that, too.
Yeah, but he said, go get him. I went there.
Your dad approved?
He finally did, but I didn't have a driver's license yet. So I had to take cabs. It was a fortune.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of sounds, and he loved it. Eventually, I became his producer for his label called One Direction.
Yes.
And we tried to get a lot of artists off the ground. We tried to work together with Sarita, his former wife,
Yes.
and a few other people. And we were hoping to with Minnie Ripperton, and then she passed away.
Yeah.
But, I met Michael Sembello, and we
Oh,
were
of
working with
course.
him, and of course Gary O, the engineer, and Rob Arbertier, and all those guys. So it was great. And then my hit record came out, so I branched a little bit away from Stevie to go deal with that.
Yeah. Now, when did you go? When did you become a solo artist? How did Twilight 22?
Yeah, I was in the parking lot. Vanguard said, "This is a hit you've given us, but we need a name. We don't want to use your name, and you're white." I said, "So?" He goes, "Well, this is hip hop and R&B. It's a whole new thing starting in
What year was that?
1983."
Oh, okay.
They said, "Do you mind if we don't put your face?" And I was a kid. I just wanted to make it work. I said,
Yeah.
"I guess so." Oh yeah, a lot of people put cartoons or whatever. I should have put my face on there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I said, I don't know, call it Twilight Zone. I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. And then he goes, how about Catch 22? I said, make it Twilight 22. He said, all right, talk to you later.
Dude.
And then it's on the radio, heavy rotation, every
Dude,
station
you were
for a year.
I mean,
it was
you
crazy.
Grammy nominated, Grammy wins. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Well, I didn't have a Grammy nomination.
No nominations
no,
for that,
I
but it
should
was on
have.
the charts.
It was on the
though.
top 10. Yeah.
Oh, okay, top
10 Billboard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot, dude. At that time, coming.
Yeah, we
up.
had. I mean, there were no other rap records. It was Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney, Say right next to me, and All Night Long, Lionel Richie, and
Yeah.
Joanna, Kool and the Gang. So to get a rap song on the top 20 even on R&B chart
Right.
was pretty impossible.
And you're younger than me. How old were you in 1983?
23.
Okay, I'm 1 year older. I'm 24. But I mean,
was
what
a
a
great
cool
time.
time. I mean, I was saying to you that I was still in high school and I was coming out to visit, LA and being around that whole scene at the time. For me, it was more like earlier, like 74, 75, 76. And then I went off on my own personal adventures, not involving music, but still always being aware of what my brothers were doing. And they were musicians who had left South Carolina, had left Charleston to go to LA to become rock stars. That was the plan. And then
That's a big move.
yeah. And they were really pretty popular in our hometown. Like they were open for the Allman Brothers, and there was some success happening. So, but they came out to LA and nothing. So they got jobs at the record plant. I think Steve, my brother Steve, who's a wonderful engineer, he lives in Seattle, who sort of got me rolling in this career. He was working at like a photo mat. Remember the photo mat you'd pull up
Yes.
to, right, and drop off your pictures. And then Rick was doing refinishing wood or something, and he was in West Hollywood and saw an ad needed somebody at the record plant, and they called them janitors. They didn't even call them runners, right? And this is Gary Kelgren, people that you would have met from the New York record plant that came out to LA.
Yes.
And then when Stevie had Crystal, which I think was on Vine.
I think so. John Fishbeck's place, Edgar Berliner and
Yeah.
John Fishbeck.
Anyway, there's a whole, I came to this building in 1998, and I had already run 4 studios before that. But the recording, I think what I'm trying to impress upon anyone that's listening to this, that Gordon and I innocently didn't realize, or you as an artist, me as a burgeoning studio manager, the recording scene in Los Angeles, New York as well, but Los Angeles was incomparable. It was such a time to be here from I would say always from the 60s, but I would say from the mid 70s to now. It's just such a time to be here. So many artists. You had the Laurel Canyon scene later, with Crosby,
Joni
Stills, and Nash,
Mitchell
Joni
and
Mitchell.
War.
So much going on. And Stevie, he became an LA fixture.
And everybody came by the studio.
Everybody.
But that to leave when we were mixing.
Yeah.
He let me stay there because I was a little kid. He was like, Gordon can stay. Gordon, shh, don't say a word. But all these amazing artists were there. They just couldn't believe hearing, Isn't She Lovely and and then Suzanne DePass, who was the president of Motown at the time, came in to say, we got to get this out. And Stevie says, no, I think I want to do a double album. And everyone's like,
Was that
no.
song's The Key of Life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just hearing him sing and knocks me off my feet and watching him punch everybody. It's real serious guy, like to this the microsecond, you know. And
Oh, no, he's a true talent, and I saw him. I was at the Hollywood Bowl for Quincy Jones' birthday like 2 years ago before Quincy passed, and Stevie came out and played. It was John Robinson, Greg Fillinganes. It was all these amazing Nathan East. Shout out to Nathan and Greg, all you guys,
Yeah.
John.
Greg is the one who pulled me into the studio when I was too shy when I arrived at Crystal and said,
Dude,
he's been waiting for you for 8 hours.
What a phenomenal
pulled me.
musician is Greg Fillinganes.
Oh.
And I had Jimmy Jam was here earlier this week. So if you're watching this and you think these people are still creating and they're still available for hire, I want to say that because Greg Fillinganes, what a talent. Nathan East, what a talent.
Oh,
John
yeah.
Robinson, all these guys. But I like that they were welcoming and that they were nurturing to you. And I
Very,
think
all of them.
I found the same in my career. My brother Steve was teaching me to be an assistant. I segued out of that to become a manager, but not for any reason other than I thought I didn't have the electronics aptitude. And I probably don't. I probably didn't. But
But it
that's-
is a fraternity. It's a family.
dude, it's a community too.
Yes.
And I'm so happy that I met you and that you're
too.
come to LA.
Yeah, I made the big
Is LA
move from
ready?
New York.
Is LA ready for Gordon? Because I'm not sure they are. But I want
I'm
to
ready
talk.
for the weather.
I mean, so there you are. You're a teenager. You're working with Stevie Wonder. You're doing all this stuff. Then you've got the Vanguard thing on
Well,
the
Herbie
side.
Hancock then found
Yeah,
out.
Herbie Hancock.
Herbie Hancock finds out, and I go and I do his record, and that was great because he's such an obviously amazing talent and trendsetter and musician and composer and
Oh, dude,
arranger.
he's unreal.
But also he was an engineer,
Oh, yeah.
an actual electronic engineer,
Yeah.
or electrical engineer.
Yeah.
So so I could talk to him about the deeper stuff. You know, with Stevie,
Isn't it
I would
interesting
take
how
his
you're-
fingers and show him, you know, this is this. But Stevie wasn't asking me what the guts were.
Right,
Naturally, he was into the sound.
It's so interesting to me that you were both a creator and that sort of left brain, right brain thing at the same time.
Exactly,
Being,
exactly.
technical and being aware of electronics and stuff. The people that we're in the room with right now are like that as well. Nate, the videographer, is a wonderful sound
Great to
engineer,
meet you
live sound
guys.
engineer. Keith, my assistant, who's fucking badass. He's a great engineer and he's a great musician.
Hey.
So yeah, it's just I didn't get any of that. I answer the telephone.
Well, we need you. You're the glue. You're the glue holding it together. The thing about Herbie that was great is we were at the Automat Studios in San Francisco.
On San Francisco, yeah.
And David Rubinson was the producer, and Fred Catero was the engineer.
Amazing.
Who did some great Chicago records
Yeah.
and other. They were all so nice with the spread of food every morning and a massage person that would come
Very
over. to each
nice.
person. It was great. And I remember Herbie saying, "Can you make the trumpets sound like this? Just a little bit more of that spit and a little bit more." And we would do it with transistors. The only problem is I'd fly back to New York and the cleaning lady would wipe something, and then Herbie
Oh,
or Stevie
man.
would say, "I know you just got back to JFK. You need to come back." The cleaning lady bumped into your trumpet sound
Oh my God.
because there wasn't any memory.
Right.
Of course,
You could
deep down,
get like a
I was like,
Sharpie.
yes, not really for the money, but I just wanted to be there again. You know?
Yeah.
And then one day Herbie called me and said, "Did you hear about memory?" I said, "No, what's memory?" He goes, "Well, all the sounds you made, we're taking them on tour without me." "Oh, yeah, it's in a box. I'm sorry, man. But listen, there's other
Oh,
things
what
out
the
there." I'm like,
fuck?
"Memory, I hate you, memory."
What the fuck, dude?
Of course, memory, we live with memory now. You know?
Yeah, hello.
But it was 1980. It was really a bad phone call.
So, you're working with Herbie, you're doing all this. Are you still doing the solo artist thing on the side?
I am. Well, this was before Herbie was only when I was 18. That
Okay,
was
gotcha.
after Stevie. Then I produced Ramsey Lewis
Oh, wow.
and wrote his stuff, and then Earth, Wind, and Fire took over for that.
Amazing.
And then I did my solo thing, and started making some money doing it. You know, it was nice to get checks, and of course, being a musician, because we're the best businessmen in the world.
Not. Yeah.
So I
exactly.
bought tons of gear that I didn't need.
Tax write-off,
My
tax
dad's
write-off.
like, "Why do you need 7 of those?" Well, because in case 7 people happen to,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, so you're still living at home?
I was living with Stevie, and then I'd pop back home, and then Stevie would put me up at the Franklin.
Did your parents come to see you? Did you ever get to
They
perform
never
on
came
stage
out.
with Stevie?
My father was a real estate guy. "Gordon, how much is he paying you?" "But Dad, he's teaching me how to write songs." "Doesn't matter. He can afford it." It was a little rough.
I love that.
And he said to me once, "Why does he do this with his head?"
Because he's blind, Dad. Yeah, because he's blind.
What's wrong? Why does he do that?
You know, Ray Charles did the same thing. It's interesting. I think about that.
Do you know what happened when I was on that first call with Stevie? My father got on the other extension.
Thought he was Ray Charles?
No, and he went, "Gordon, the chicken is going to thaw out in the trunk. Get it right now." I said, "Dad, I'm on the phone with Stevie. Tell Steven you'll see him in school." Every kid's nightmare. And that actually broke the ice because Stevie started cracking up. He goes, "I think your papa's going to kick your ass."
You better go get that chicken.
Yeah.
You better get that chicken out the trunk. Well,
Stevie and I did the Howard Stern show, which was also a lot of fun.
oh my
together.
God, I need to find that episode.
Yeah, it didn't go so well because Stevie wanted me to do some voices that were not politically correct. But he's crazy.
This is not a politically correct podcast, so I don't really care what you do. But so
Then I did some voices. I did Rugrats. I did one of the characters on Rugrats.
I know you did a lot of voices. Give me some examples of the voices.
Well, I did a Middle Eastern doctor, and he said to the guy, "Don't come back here until you get compound fracture."
So that was one voice. I think it must have been one of my relatives that I heard. And did some video games of some very militant sounding guys. "Get over there right now, get that thing on, my mouth." And I'd see the people behind the glass pounding on the board laughing because all these different voices would come out.
Dude, he's actually possessed, ladies and gentlemen. These are the voices that live inside Gordon Bahary.
I need an exorcism.
Yeah.
Stevie once called me and said, "I want to conference you with my wife. And I want to see if you can really." I fooled her. And I said,
Who did you pretend to be? Oh, pretend to be him?
Yeah. Listen, baby, I'm going to be in the studio for another 20 minutes. I'm going to come home, okay? She's like, "All right, let me see. Can you pick me up some chocolate?"
And I go, "Yeah." And then she goes, "I can't wait to be with you." Stevie goes, "Hold it! Hold up! That's not me." She goes, "What's going on here?" He goes, "Okay, you did it. Hang up with my wife."
Yeah. Get off the phone. Get off the phone. That's fucking classic. So
funny.
you're a composer. You're first of all, you invented synthesizers. You certainly pioneered and helped all these artists, Stevie Wonder, Herbie Hancock, all these guys. I mean, they knew what they were looking for, but you helped them with technology create their sounds. Not an easy feat, bro.
I was
technology
nervous.
is a challenge.
I was nervous looking back, but it's all happening so fast that you don't stop and go, "I need to breathe." It's just, what do you want to hear now? And there's people moving around and engineers saying, "Take 4," and you just do it. And you know what happened, though? When I got back to Huntington, Long Island, on my mom's upright piano, the dopamine and adrenaline comes down and you're back home and you think like you're this star. You can't help it.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Go on and take the garbage out."
Yeah,
And
it's
you
a
think to
reality
yourself,
check.
I was just miking Stevie's whatever. And then you play the piano and you go, "I suck," which is what I said because I'm like, I can't write, "I see us in the park." But you know what? It made me a better songwriter because I had a huge thing to live up to.
Yeah, dude.
And I'd play it on the phone. He'd say, "It's pretty good." And I know that I went, until I heard him say, "Yeah." And I'd say, "Okay, he likes major 7 chords and he likes this." So he was so generous. There were a lot of people he was helping, and he didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
He's helped so many people, dude. And still
Thousands.
his generous spirit for sure.
And he's not about the money.
Yeah.
He could be, and it would be fine, but
Yeah.
he's not.
Yeah.
He's about making
about
the
the
world
creation.
better, and he did make the world better.
He without question. Now, did the voiceover stuff? I know you're a composer in your own right now. How did you get into that? What are you doing now? Kind of tell us.
Well, I
what's
moved
happening.
out here to L.A. I figured after a major pandemic, strikes, and fires, it would be the perfect time.
What else can go? It's done. They're
If anyone
past
wants
it.
to hire me for timing to buy stocks,
Yeah.
no. But no, it's okay. It gives me time. It gives us time to talk. There's
There
a
you
little
go.
downtime. Well, there isn't downtime at East West. Don't get me wrong.
That's right.
But no, so I came out here to focus because I sold my studios. After the pandemic was over, a lot of clients, friends, artists said, "Yeah, well, I bought this thing called the Focusrite, whatever, and I have a microphone. Grammy-winning recordings were done in Manhattan on a piano with 2 mics, and people were calling me saying, "Do you put the mic under or over?"
See, this is a soapbox that I get on, and you can imagine managing a commercial facility. But I say this almost every time: if you're good, you can make a record anywhere.
It's true.
Key sentence is, if you're good.
If you're good,
Okay,
right.
so
And you have these.
yeah, and you have good ears, and yes, equipment helps. A place like this is going to enhance what you're doing without question. The acoustic of the rooms, the gear, my staff, all
And
those
the
good things.
focus to focus on your instrument and
Yeah.
have someone else.
The
who's
commitment, you can't just fuck off and, go get a frozen yogurt. You got to actually, you're paying for the time. So that's actually a good incentive. I think that this place, I feel so fortunate to run East West. We're sitting in Studio 5 right now because I think this place inspires. I think if you come in, like I just gave you the little mini tour, I think if you're in one of these rooms, I think it gives you like that, okay, I better bring my A game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. Because who else has sat here?
Yeah. But at the same
And
time,
I believe in. I don't mean to sound all, but
it's juju. It's mojo.
Energy doesn't die. I mean,
Yeah.
any physicist will tell you that. You take it from there.
Yes.
It's there.
It lasts forever. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's a mojo, But I'm sure your place had that too. So first of all, I'm so stoked that I met you. I met
likewise.
Gordon recently at a pre-Oscar.
And
event
she was
for
a
the
voice you
Society.
could hear at the other side of the party.
Uh-oh, really? That's a few glasses of champagne in. The Society of Composers and Lyricists. Yes, I was just
Great place.
a wilting flower. Quiet.
No, you were hysterically funny and confident. And she introduced me to people. Come here. I want you to meet them.
We were sitting to my left, and I think I said this to you. I'm like, oh, my God, you look like Robert Downey Jr.
Right away, I wanted to know if that's a good-looking person.
Yeah, very handsome. Very handsome. Great actor. But I'm like, who is this guy? And Christina, your beautiful companion, I was like, oh, man, this is super cool. These people are fun.
She's
But
great.
yeah, I you know what? I like to have fun,
We had a blast with you. It was a great group of people, some real amazingly
It's an
talented people there.
It's an amazing organization. I want to give a shout out to Ashley Irwin, who runs the LA chapter, but the Society of Composers and Lyricists,
Definitely.
of which you are all those things, and I am none. I've been a manager for a long time, but I joined the SCL probably over 20 years ago for the purpose of networking with people like you, meeting composers, meeting potential clients, supporting you guys, and stuff like that.
That's great.
Because we're, it's a symbiotic relationship.
And you love music.
I
You love
love
the people.
music.
You want to be here.
I love music. I'm ridiculous.
That's why you'll never retire.
Yeah. Well, I have consulting gigs. I have plenty of things I'll
Can we
do.
reach you when you retire?
Oh, I'll have the same email address and the same cell phone. That's the ticket.
Okay.
So you won't even know that I'm not here. You just won't be able to have a drink with me. You'll have to zoom in while I'm drinking champagne in my garden. But
I also wanted to shout out to Raven Symone.
yes.
I was her first producer when she was 5
Wow.
for Epic, and I played all the instruments and all that, and she was about this high. And when she got there, I realized that the mic stand wouldn't go that low. I never had such. She was the sweetest thing. So I used the boom, of course.
Yeah.
And she said, "Am I singing okay?" She was like this old soul in this little vessel.
Yeah.
Such a sweetheart.
Amazing.
We had a
amazing.
great time, and we're going to work together now again. We just did an ABC TV special, so
Very
shout out to
cool.
Raven. Who's
Very
a
much.
beautiful
Now, are
soul.
you? Can you tell us what you're working on?
Yeah, I'm scoring a film. One of the producers is one of the producers of the Yellowstone series.
What a great series.
Yeah, and the new one's coming up, the other spin-offs.
cool.
So I was very fortunate to be brought on to score that film. Malcolm McDowell
Amazing.
is the one of the actors.
How
in
do
it.
you find like writing for score and underscore versus writing a pop song?
It's interesting. In a pop song, I've been struggling for 50 years with this terrible teacher, Stevie Wonder, who just doesn't know how to write anything. Having that pressure of writing
right,
something
right.
really a hit song.
Yeah, isn't
And-
she lovely?
Yeah,
isn't
there
she
you go.
lovelier?
Yeah.
Isn't she better looking?
Could
That's the
not
new
be
song by
lovely.
Gordon Bahary.
Yeah.
She's better looking. Yeah.
Isn't he trying to be lovely?
Yeah.
So here you are honing in on your craft to say a lot in a short time. And in a film, it's often the opposite. So everything I'm writing, friends who are successful composers say, I love it. But even though it's instrumental, it's a song because of the way you're thinking. Can you spread that out?
Yeah,
and
because you think
spread
like a
this-
bridge, you think a chorus, you think
It's
in
gotta
that
build
structure.
like this, and I'm like, it's so uncomfortable to stretch it out. One composer said something very funny from UCLA. He said, "Change all the quarter notes to whole notes."
I mean, we were in a room. We were in a room that day with, Nick Cave, and then people that belonged to the SCL like John Williams, Alexander Desplat was there. Shout out to Alexander, who
Oh,
is an
fantastic.
incredible flautist. By
Is
the way,
he?
yes, I saw him at a dinner, SCL dinner, and Charlie Fox, who I adore. Charlie Fox, they were honoring Charlie Fox, and he had his whole Cuban thing happening, and he was doing his whole, percussion thing. And Alexander got up and played the flute, and I was like, "Where was
Wow.
I didn't know he was a
I didn't
flautist."
know either.
Dude, he was badass. He is badass.
He's one of my favorite composers.
Dude,
He's a real class act.
Dude, he's the nicest cat.
Yeah.
And being in that room again, I have no business being there, but being in that room with people like you and those creators, the camaraderie is very normal. It's not like bougie or anything like
Airs,
that.
no airs,
airs. No, everybody's a peer, and everyone's like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?"
And they want to help.
Yeah, they want to help, and they're sort of equal. Like I said, you've got Alexander, but he's very approachable. Tyler Treban was there. I mean, everybody very approachable, very normal, and they're with their own people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you're in a room with your own folks,
Yeah.
and that's what was so cool about meeting you.
Likewise, and that was my first SCL event.
Oh,
I
man.
just joined, and boy, was I missing a lot. I told Christine, my sweetheart, who I want to shout out to.
Yes, shout out to Christine.
She's the greatest support, and she's an amazing wellness chef.
Oh, cool.
She can make a chocolate cake, and after the first piece,
You feel
she'll say,
better.
She'll say, "Have the other one. You're eating zucchini." Did you know that?
Yeah, zucchini burgers. I'll have to come over and sample some of I like to cook as well, but I'll have to sample some of Christine's cooking.
But going there was great because the first thing I said to her is I didn't feel any tension or
Yeah.
competition or anything like that. We were all there for the same reason.
Yeah, and there a lot of in the community. I want to give a shout out, and I need to interview some more of these people. But everybody behind the scenes, the contractors, you know what I mean, the orchestrators, the copyists, the people who are just tirelessly making sure that music is heard, or that music gets to picture, gets to film. A lot of stuff is recorded out of country now. This is good and bad. But at the same time, I think that, I'm a real nerd. Like, I listen to scores, in my car. And there's one we were talking about, like, in Alexander. There's a movie that Ewan McGregor did quite a few years ago with Pierce Brosnan. It's called The Ghost Writer. As in, like, a
think I remember
ghostwriter
it.
who writes a book for
Yes,
you.
yes.
Dude, it is the most mournful, interesting score. The score to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is also an interesting score. But it's, I'm so happy and bubbly. You wouldn't think that I would like that dark thing. But it's kind of mournful, but really like, wow, And if you doubt the importance or the relevance of music in film or television, watch a TV show or a movie without music.
Yeah.
It's crap. I'm sorry.
And sometimes it'll even set the tone. Sometimes it goes counter to what the picture might be showing. And
Yep.
It's not,
It's almost leading you ahead sometimes.
it's leading you ahead, or
you
even
know-
maybe what your subconscious might be thinking.
Yeah, dude.
And everyone has different approaches. Do you make the music ever busy as an underscore under dialogue? Some say yes, some say never. It's a style thing.
It is a style thing. And I think, someone like an Alexander who is really quite diverse in his ability. Some people, and this isn't a bad thing, some people you hear it and you go, oh, it's John Williams. Or, oh, it's Michael Giacchino. That no flies on those guys, okay? So that's fine. But I like when you can't tell who it is. And then for me, it's kind of like when talking about records, like the first records that you loved when you were a
Right,
kid. For me,
right.
it would have been rock, right?
Right.
And I start seeing Glenn John's name on everything. It's The Who, it's Zeppelin. I'm like, this Glenn Johns guy, he's good. He's onto
getting around,
something.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I like the sounds he gets, you know, and I'm just a layperson listening to the record, you know, but it's the same for scores. Like I find that I gravitate towards certain composers, and I cannot wait to hear more stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, and later on I'll
You know, I
play
got
some
inside track,
snippets.
y'all. So I'm gonna hear some stuff before y'all hear it. That's what I'm saying.
That's right. We're going to play some stuff for you after our interview.
Oh, that'd
here.
be super cool. Yeah, we should do that. We could play some of it on the podcast. You know what we'll do? We'll send some
It's
of it
not
to
out
Keith.
yet.
And we'll get it edited in, because this won't come out for like a month or so. And we'll get a little snippet that you approve of to be in there. There's an intro that my husband wrote that's on all the podcasts. He's a guitar player, my husband. He's an amazing guitar player. You'll meet Brian. He's the best. My heart. But yeah, he's an incredible musician. I'm just surrounded by musicians, okay? I don't even know what's going
Will
on.
you be at the other SCL events?
I'll come to all the things.
Oh,
yeah,
it'd be great
yeah.
to
while
see you
I'm
there
while I'm
again.
in town, the screenings are very cool. They're free usually, and you'll get to meet like the director and sometimes the actors. I got to meet George Clooney, you know, and
great.
things like that. You're not supposed to go up after the Q&A and like give them your card, but I say hell be damned. I'm saying after the Q&A, if they're standing there, they're fair game. You know, if you're a composer and the director is there, I say go up and tell him what you liked and that you're a composer.
love it.
I mean, look what you did. You were the telephone terrorist.
I know, that's my name. I wouldn't do that today. That's the funny thing.
But you know what? You can't. And by the way, if you're watching this and you want to know if you harass me, will you get a job at the studio? The answer is probably no. So we want a gentle approach with the emails. Once a week is good, not every day.
Yeah, Stevie was an exception.
You know what though? But if you hadn't had that tenacity and that fearlessness, you wouldn't have gotten there.
No.
You know, and again, it takes someone like a Stevie. When he heard what you could do, he said, "Oh, I want to nurture. I want to help. I want this kid to help." And he also knew that you would make him sound better.
Thank you. Well,
You know,
he
he's no
came to my
fool.
house once on a 7 a.m. A call. I'm doing this duet with Whitney Houston. I want to cut it at your house. And he came in with his wife and his kids, and because he's busy, he's flying all over.
Yeah.
His kids would attend. They came over from New Jersey. We had the greatest time. He was so patient. And of course, that's when my headphone amp blew up.
Of course.
So I had to repair it for 15 minutes while he was waiting. He's like, "Take your time. I'm doing my scales. I'm doing whatever."
Yeah.
And when I adjusted his mic in the vocal booth, I realized how gently he was singing, because I thought you're supposed to belt in the studio.
Right.
He saved his voice by creating a more narrow pathway, because I had to turn the Neve preamp way up, but it sounded loud.
Dude,
And
I
that's
hear
when
so many
started
singers
leering.
now, and I hear the way they sing, and I think, oh man, 10 years from now, you're screwed.
No,
if
he
you don't protect
preserved
your
it.
instrument, you know what I mean?
Yes, because I thought the preamp was broken. Why did I have to go up 10 dB? But Stevie made this resonance in his head, and he said, "I don't need a pop filter," and he was moving it like this, and I just said, "Can I save all these takes as a souvenir?" He says, "Yes, don't play it for anybody." But I learned a lot about engineering,
Breath
his
control,
voice, and, yes,
EQ.
absolutely.
You know, it's interesting. You mentioned the Whitney Houston thing. One of our claims to fame here is that Whitney did "I Will Always Love You" in Studio 2.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I wasn't able to show you Studio 2 today, but and Dave Reitzes, who I want to introduce you to, an incredible engineer, friend of long standing, still very talented, works a lot with Barbra Streisand and David Foster, but he was very young when he did that. He was probably, I don't think he was even 22. He was quite young when he did that. You'll meet Dave. He's great. You're going to meet a lot of engineers and stuff with me. That's who you'll meet with me, because those are sort of my people.
And we owe a lot to SCL, who brought us together, so we'll have to see you there.
Yeah,
more,
shout
too.
out to SCL again. Well, I'm going to wrap it up because we got to go eat some sushi, man.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Gordon, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to
we
be
could
on your
do a
show.
part two. We could totally
We have
do
a
a part
lot.
two.
There could be a lot of parts.
Like
'cause,
we didn't get as irreverent as we thought.
No,
we were
there's
gonna
technical
get.
things. There's
Yeah.
dark and bright stories.
Where are we at? We're good. Oh, we're good. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories. There was one time where Steve,
band camp?
Steve and I, we were in Bogalusa, Louisiana, and it was a little heavy. I'm like, "Why are we here?" He said,
Interesting.
"Well, part of the KKK was founded down the street."
Wow.
I said, "Oh, and I'm sleeping here tonight with him."
Yeah.
He says, yeah, and he went to every school in that town.
Breaking down barriers,
and
man.
taught about racism
Breaking down barriers.
in between sessions.
Yeah.
The guy was
You know, I'm really lucky. I mean, the South gets a bad rap, and deservedly so, in many ways. But I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, and I want to shout out to my hometown. You know what? High school was like 60% black, no racial unrest. My parents were great, not racist. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for being cool and smart and open-minded and gracious. But I will say, it's come around a lot in the South. There's been a lot of awareness and light shining. People like Stevie Wonder, people like Ray Charles, breaking the Jim Crow circuit, breaking segregation, and music. You know, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr. He would not, if they wouldn't let Sammy stay or be on the same place or be in the same, he wouldn't do it. You know, so musicians, one of the things that's so great about musicians is they don't seek color or gender or age. No. If you're a musician and you're good, other musicians will warm to you.
That is true.
But if you suck, yeah, but there is no color. There is
well, you know, when
gender.
I was programming the synthesizer for him, when I got there, of course, my fingers were shaking, and I took his hands and I said, "This is the red knob for the VCO. This is the filter, the brown knob." And he said to me, I was just 15, and he said, "Gordon, that doesn't mean anything to me."
Red and green and
I
brown.
said, "Oh crap!" He goes, "Why don't we say hot, cold, soft, hard?" And it opened up a whole new vista for me. But he's that way with people as well. He doesn't understand all that.
He wasn't born blind, though.
He wasn't, but he was. I mean, he went blind in the incubator. He was a preemie.
Oh heck! Well, yeah, he was then. Yeah, I know Ray Charles went blind. I think he was 6
It was
or
a
7.
poorly regulated incubator, so there was an overabundance of oxygen.
Oh, is that what
Too
caused
much oxygen,
that?
which burns out the optic nerve. Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Well, yeah, you nurses, keep an eye on that. All right, we're looking to you. We're looking to you to not let that happen. Well, I want to thank you so much. I mean, we're gonna have a part 2. You're super freaking interesting.
Thank you. You too. You're a riot. Can we take your earlobes and put 2 electrodes on them? We could just run the whole place off your energy.
I'm just a retard. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that.
Oh,
I'm mentally challenged.
Do you have editing? Will there be editing?
I'm mentally challenged.
Please have me back. It would be my honor
Gordon
and my privilege.
Bahary. Okay, you're going to see this name in the credits for film and TV. You're going to hear his voice now. You're going to go back and listen to Rugrats and stuff like that. You're going to be like, that guy. I fucking heard that guy. Give us one more. Give us another voice. I don't know. Give us a.
Hey, let me tell you something. It's Tony, this is Tony Soprano. Hey, come over here. You may not love me, but you will respect me.
There we go. There we go. Thank you very much. Trade secrets. All right. Thanks.
On that bright note.
Yeah. No, it's funny. It's funny.